welcome back to the DreamHack Pro Circuit, coming to you live here from the beautiful, beautiful Valencia, Spain, where earlier in the day we got our glance at our reigning world champions there in Renault Vitality, and here for the first time now we take a glance at the opposite side of that grand finals there, and that of G2. Hello, I am your host, Wade Dreadnought Penfold. Here at the desk with me, I got myself Randy Gibbs-Gibbons, and of course Turtle, excuse me, that's an Isaac Turtle app.
Really?
Thank you, appreciate it.
So now you're just doing you two and
I'm still stumbling, man. I only learned your last name like 2 minutes ago.
It's okay, it's okay.
It happens. Well, I'm really excited, though. I'm really excited for this match because we haven't seen G2 at all yet. I bet the fans at home on Twitch chat are like, when is G2 playing?
Yeah.
Well, they're playing right now, so we finally get it.
Well, before we get into the series, we first need to take a glance at the groups and figure out what we have gotten here now in Group B, as Group A concluded again earlier in our day.
So far we're seeing Cloud9, major upset over Mount Gang. Mount Gang fall 3-0 to Cloud9.
Upset.
Huge upset there, so Cloud9 move on. G2 as well, they took down Energy, and Energy right now, they are playing on the B Street.
Yeah.
They're playing Rogue, so that could be Fireburner's last series.
And speaking of Rogue, that's the interesting thing, you know, the matchup between Rogue and Barcelona, it was close, definitely, and it's interesting to see how Rogue is going to keep doing because I want to see them be a consistent top-tier team. If they get solid results here, I think they'll really secure a spot. But Vitality and River Rats, I think they're the top teams you want to be right now.
And, you know, with the result of Barcelona and Rogue, you know, Barcelona pulling out the W there, I've got to ask, you know, with the performance we got out of them yesterday, I wanted to project it that they would have held much of a torch here to what is Rogue. So was that more of, you know, maybe Barcelona still just finding the roots here in this tournament? Is that maybe Rogue having some difficulty as we move on?
So it's hard because I feel like the last few times we've seen Barcelona relatively flat, but we know back in league play, they come in second, they get that automatic bid for the World Championship. Like, we know what they can do. So maybe they're just trying to find that groove again, and it took them a little bit, but they obviously found it versus Rogue.
I think a lot of that does come down to Alpha and getting these aggressive touches in the up front instead of in the midfield. You know, he's kind of like a gimmick to Barcelona, getting these really weird touches, places you don't expect him to be. He is the season MVP of league play. It's going to be crazy. I want to see how he performs here and if he can really be the one to break Barcelona out of that shell.
Well, moving across the pond here, I think it's important to take a glance as well at G2 because, as you already pointed out, this is the first time that we've gotten to see them on the stream. I haven't gotten to bring my fanboyness over Chicago. I've been deprived of that, and now I get to, you know, just let loose.
Yeah, I'm going to fanboy over JNaps, actually, because this World Championship was absolutely insane.
100%.
He was involved in 2.09 goals or assists per game. That's literally better than teams. The only team that did better than that was Vitality. Every other team finished below JNaps in goals or assists. So that's absolutely nuts. He didn't have the greatest final. Like, I felt like it finally caught up to G2. That huge offensive push, Vitality figured out a way past it, but G2 showed something we have never seen from them when we saw them at the World Championship.
And the best part about it wasn't just JNaps the whole time. The whole team was getting involved. Midfield passes, we saw Ronicky earlier today talk about it just in that interview. He said, you know, we switched up to midfield passing and it worked. That's kind of like the meta right now, trying to keep possession in the midfield. G2 did it so well at Worlds. How will they come out here in this matchup against Barcelona?
And Barcelona, they have that hometown crowd behind them. Obviously, Bluey and Devo, they've been living in Spain since January, so they've been working with Barcelona, but it's a lot of pressure on them, right? Like, the last time we saw them on stage, they didn't score a single goal versus the Bricks.
Yeah. I mean, they had so much momentum coming in from the rival series, then making it all the way to LAN, and then kind of flatlining right now. They want to get back to that feeling. You know, it's one thing to constantly be winning, and then you start losing and get in this little slump, and then at what point do you break out of it, and who's going to be the one? And Alpha right there, he has to be the one to step up.
And that's what happened at the World Championship when they played Cloud9. It was such a close series. Like, it was a 3-0, but it was like one-goal games, and it was always one mistake by Alpha. It just seemed like the nerves kind of caught up to him, so we'll see if he can bounce back.
And one thing I want to ask on the side of Barcelona before we get too deep into G2 here is that, you know, looking as early as Leipzig into what we got out of Dallas and coming to here, it feels like at first we were talking about the speed on the field, and it feels like they've taken a step back as time has gone on.
Yeah, we're starting to see more Bluey. Like, I think he's trying to disrupt and then allow Devo and Alpha some space. We saw Devo at the World Championship. He did lead every single player for goals per game at 1.1. So he's the one scoring the goals nowadays for this team. But on the other side, one person that I heavily criticized throughout Season 7 was Rizzo not involved on the offensive side. And again, I'm not sure if that was his fault necessarily, because the team has 2 aggressive players and 1 passive player, but they had to figure it out. And at the World Championship, his goal participation was 50%, but it was all the demos. He would go upfield, he would pass the ball, then there would be 1 extra pass, so he's not technically involved in the goal, but he's going for the demos on the goalies, and that's what helped G2 so much.
Yeah, and on G2, it's like, with Chicago and JNAPs up front, what does Rizzo really try and do? If he tries to force himself all the time to get these goals and to do too much, then at what point is he just going to mess up every single form of chemistry that they have going for them? That's why these demos and these bumps, that's why he fits so well with this roster, because he sees the pitch in a different sense. He gets these passes and continues forward with that rotation into the backfield and tries to get a demo.
And with that here, guys, before we get into the prediction, I first want to just ask, what are the must-haves for both sides going into this? Because this is a big title match here, both between NA and that of EU.
I feel like Barcelona has to find a way to shut down that offense of G2, because if you shut that down, make them play defense, they didn't have to do that at the World Championship. They were always on the offensive side of the field, so they'll probably be a little bit more maybe uncomfortable there. So Barcelona has to find a way, because also when we watched Barcelona, it didn't seem like their offense was really clicking, so it has to be low-scoring games.
Yeah, back at Worlds, PSG played G2, and G2 completely stomped in the first 2 games, and then PSG brought it back because they moved their defensive line forward into the midfield, which is what G2 was doing so well. They was passing, they were trying to keep possession in the midfield, and PSG just kept cutting that off and being more aggressive. So Barcelona needs to come in strong, no hesitation, if they want to beat G2.
All right, well, now it's time for the vote. Who do you think will pull ahead here? Is it going to be EU or North America surviving this one?
So Chicago and Rizzo, they've been on vacation for about a week after the World Championship. Not a lot of scrims, but I still have to go with G2. I felt like that offense was so good at the World Championship, and I think it continues here, and I have G2.
I agree. I think G2 are going to take it. They looked too clean at Worlds. As long as they keep somewhat of a play style like that, I think they'll have the best chance here going into this game.
And for me, I've always kind of had blind faith. Whenever Chicago's on the field, a big fan of the guy, in his play style on the field, I'm sitting on his side. But that being said, their Worlds performance really helps my argument here. Yeah, it's very easy to be looking at them, especially because when we saw Renault and G2 open into this tournament, the question was, how are they going to start out? And both of them with a lot of traction.
So I just want to see G2's third man, because they were so far forward, winning every 50-50. And of course, the G2 fan base is going to give them that 80% vote. And the World Championship run definitely helps, but it's all about that third man. Like, if Barcelona can find ways around them so G2 doesn't just be hyper-aggressive forever, then Barcelona has a chance.
Well, let's get this thing underway then. We're going to send you over to the casting crew, and it's going to be Johnny Boy and Shogun.
Thank you very much, Dreadnought. And whilst it seems like the desk and pretty much everyone else out there is going for Barcelona, I can tell you right now, we've been outside. There is always a crew, a congregation following Barcelona.
Well, yeah, Barcelona. The desk or G2, the crowd outside are certainly not. You're looking at a whole bunch of Barcelona fans. But looking at this, the results so far, G2 are definitely looking like the better team at this event. Beforehand, I expected more from Barca coming in here. They're the home favorites. And they did scrape a win against Rogue earlier today, which knocks out Rogue, the highest seed, who have already been eliminated from the tournament. They put them down to lowers, and now they've lost to NRG in round 1 of the loser bracket. But G2 are a different beast at the moment. They've hit a real run of form here. First World Championship, now DreamHack Valencia. Let's see if they can keep that winning streak going.
Rizzo's going to immediately start off a shot. He's found the smallest little gap to sneak the ball in.
Wow, I don't know exactly where the defense went for Barcelona in this one, but the placement, there they are. Well, Blaze decided to go into the goal rather than just, stay on the ground where you would have probably saved that. He's expecting a high shot from Rizzo, so he's, tried to come off the crossbar to get the save, but looking at where Rizzo was, I don't know why Blaze was thinking that. Very clear that he could have aimed low, and he did, but Blaze going to redeem himself here. No, he's not. JNAPs keeps it out. G2 hold on to their 1-0 lead.
Came in at the very end. As Chicago does win the challenge. JNAP's able to move us forward. He's also got Rizzo over in support, but he's just sort of spectated as that one gets removed from him by Devo. A very interesting clash of styles between these two teams. Barcelona, very mechanical heavy. Love to try and get some solo plays going. G2, highest pass rate out of any team, European or North American, for the entirety of RLCS. As JNAPs is up, and he is going to be saved by Alpha.
And you've got a very different seating style between Bluey and everyone else on the stage. You're going to be hard-pressed to see Bluey's eyes, nose, any other facial features beside his forehead. And if things get really serious, that might also disappear, so keep an eye out for that. At the moment, he is sitting fringe above the camera, or above the monitor, rather. So he's just
We
chilling.
believe that to be a neutral position.
Yes, this is the starting point of most series. Do pay attention to that as we proceed throughout the rest of the games. Alpha trying to center this one. It's not going to pay off. Barcelona sent home again. They've not had too many real chances just yet. G2 having the best of it. JNavs with a whiff is going to allow Devo on the counter-attack. Chicago should have that under control, though.
Yeah, but still space for Barca to work with off the backboard. Bluey already there. Should be arriving by the time he gets to that point. JNavs has it go past him, but it's available. Alpha has got plenty of options to pass to, and Rizzo almost clattered, but almost seemed like there was too much time and too many options. Couldn't pick one of them.
G2 looking solid at the moment, although they're all kind of grouping up in the corner, which is usually frowned upon. They've got a clear hit on the ball plan, and they're communicating effectively who's going to be making that hit, so no double commits just yet. Barcelona, a team who were really feared all across the world at the start of this RLCS season, have kind of become a little bit more tame as we've gone throughout the year. So far today, they're looking for that fire that they were showing earlier in the year.
Also, would not be too surprised if going throughout the series we see more and more physical play. Barcelona, every time they got offensive pressure and sort of lock down their opponents, love to go for that sweep from boost, take out a goalkeeper, grab the other boost. On the other side, Rizzo.
Oh, yes.
He loves a bump.
Rizzo, the assister with no assists. Very often taking part in a play without being told so that he is in the game. That's a shot off the bar by Chicago. Rizzo following up, and he does get a shot saved by Bluey.
So that's what he was after last time.
Exactly what he was trying to do at the start of the game. This time it pays off. And they're going to get a counter-attack goal. Alpha, just enough power to shoot this the entire length of the field. Looks like he had a better read on that bounce to Chicago. JNavs could not quite reach it. 1-1.
So Barcelona, after all of their prods at the G2 defense, ends up just sending it right down the field. That was the answer to unlocking that defense. 2 minutes left in game number 1. Rizzo going to try and keep this going. It's right over towards Devo. Devo is pretty much always going to be hanging on that backboard whenever you move forward. Very comfortable over in that area as Alpha has the flip reset. Tries to get past, but Chicago decided to jump late. He's not going to be there for this one, though. As Devo unable to find a net or a teammate. Minute and a half on the clock, still to play for in game 1.
That double save. Second one coming in the hands of Bluey. Seems to have woken Barcelona up a little bit. G2, oh my goodness, they've just been denied by the post with an aerial shot. Bluey with another save on the goal line. Great stuff in defense from Bluey ever since that early misplay. Slingshots for Alpha, so far unaffected on G2's end. Some good early challenging on them by the G2 players. Chance maybe for Bluey, but he's out of boost, has to flip ahead of the ball. G2 keeping them quiet once again.
Rizzo wants to try and follow. Alpha does keep it high enough, and this time Bluey does have the space and the boost to make a play. Chicago already finding himself on the backboard, can defend quite easily. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult. Alpha up, tries to take the net, but JNavs, very quick challenge from him. Prevents it from being overly difficult, and that should be a clear for JNavs. G2 can reboost, reposition, and take stock of the situation at hand.
Alpha 54 going to be the player to watch for Barcelona usually. Devo has been getting back up to his original glory. Oh, that's almost in. And Chicago off the post, only as far as Bluey. Somehow, Barcelona create a chance out of nothing. They still have the ball in G2's end. Looks like it will go clear for the time being. Alpha with a pass off to Bluey. It's not going to be kept up, though, in overtime and go.
So here's for the advantage in the series. Chicago managed to get that to a point where JNavs can take over, and he's got boost, he's got position, and he almost got a flip reset. Many things going his way, apart from the fact that there was one Barcelona player who was happy to shut that all down. Here is Bluey, ends up getting beat to it by Rizzo. Bluey's had quite a few occasions where we've come up to his cam, and he's just got no boost.
Blue's definitely one of the players I'm, most impressed with defending with low boost. Devo, oh my goodness, off the inside of the post. Looks like he was struggling for the boost as well, or he would have had a better save there. It looks like Barcelona are going to be clinging on for the time being. Lots of pressure coming in from G2 though. Now going to be looking for a counter-attack. Alpha, ceiling shot into the middle. Actually got a dunk on. Rizzo's clear somehow. Chicago's got this one under control. Passes halfway line. Side flip on the dribble. Saved. Near post by Devo, double demo. One for each team. JNAPS beats Bluey to the ball in the air above G2's goal. Is end-to-end stuff here, Shogun.
End-to-end, but it's very, very tentative as JNAPS left that one a little bit too late for comfort. Just over a minute of OT played. Bluey's got plenty of time, and both these teams sort of playing this OT as if it's been 5 minutes, not just 1 minute. Usually you see teams get more and more defensive, less and less happy to challenge the midfield as we go along, but seems like we've started at that point. Chicago's touch, not great, and Alpha's touch. Not really enough to trouble Rizzo. Has a good flick on though from JNAPS. Forces Barcelona to try and deal with this. There's JNAPS to take game 1.
Great stuff there at the end by G2. Winning multiple races to the ball against Barcelona. That's not something you see every day. JNAPS sending it over the top of Alpha 54 and into the net. They're looking pretty tough to themselves, getting the win in game 1. Even though they didn't get as much practice going into this event as they did before the World Championship, they've been pretty open about that fact. It's not really seemed to affect G2 in any way. They're still playing the same way that they did at the World Championship. Very confident, very aggressive, and just like you said, going into game 1, lots and lots of team play.
Absolutely. I want to talk to you very quickly about, we saw for quite a while there, both teams struggling for boost, but from what we've seen from Barcelona previously, they're a very boost-heavy team, especially Devo. It's typically described as a 100-0 player. He gets it, he uses it. You get the feeling in a game like this, low boost is going to affect Barcelona more than it would G2.
Yeah, you could say that. G2 don't seem to have any problems with this on the regular, whereas, yeah, Devo certainly likes to chug a lot of boost in the games that he does play. There's a few players like that, though, in high-level play. There doesn't seem to be any real correlation between boost efficiency and the effectiveness of a Rocket League player.
On occasion, you just get the outlier, such as Gimmick, who
Yeah.
I don't think there is a boost on the field that isn't his.
Just likes to take them all for himself. He's doing laps. He's
doesn't-
that guy that you run into in ranked who gets sad that he's down 1-0 15 seconds in and just starts driving around, picking up all the big boost pads because his teammates didn't agree to surrender.
Well, 90 boost is not enough. 100's just cleaner, if anything.
Some players just like to be going supersonic, and anything less is not good enough, so they will just accelerate to supersonic all the time.
I'm not going in my supersonic stats. There is stuff on Gimmick to talk
Oh.
about, but let's talk about this from Alpha. Lovely shot, finds the far corner.
Looks like Chicago first missing, and then Rizzo did not respect that bounce enough. Was thinking maybe that it was going to roll up the wall. It did not. And then when it kicks off that far, he's got no chance of either getting in the way of Alpha's shot or getting back to the goal to save it. 1-0 for Barcelona early on. G2 with a couple of mistakes, letting them get that goal pretty easily.
One of those annoying things in the world, though, as a player. You've just gone for an OT, a situation where you are guaranteed just to get one goal. You're trying so hard for it. Don't get it, but following game, just sort of handed over to you. So then why could that not have come? I don't know, 2 minutes earlier, as that's going to be Bluey trying to go for probably the goal of the weekend to this point. Couldn't quite reach it, though.
That's a really tough angle. Surprised he didn't try and flip upside down, stick his car more conventionally downwards into the ball. But I would have put it past Bluey to score that well, using the underside of the car. Good pass by Barcelona towards Devo, but it's saved well by JNAPS. The shot could have been maybe more powerful, but JNAPS is running back in pretty good reaction time. G2 keep this one at 1-0 for the time being.
And it's not the first time that we've seen JNAPS scud his way back at the final possible moment. They're playing times in game 1. Chicago to tie us up. Gonna do it.
Oh wow, Bluey actually was making the same misplay that G2 did. Not respecting this bounce off the wall. He's either trying to get a double touch there One hit into the wall, another hit as it comes back off, or he's trying to roll it up the wall. Either way, he's completely beaten it as it comes straight back out, and that's the easiest goal that G2 are going to get this game, most likely.
Both teams not doing the greatest defensive work so far, but every shot seems to be as far away as you could possibly get it from the defenders. Making the most of the situations and the opportunities presented to them. Chicago just hit that one a little bit too heavy to pop that one over the top of the Barcelona defense. There is Bluey. That is on target.
Oh.
Forces a save from Chicago. Chicago doesn't quite know what to do. Devo reads the clear perfectly.
What a touch by Bluey. I don't think anybody realized just how dangerous this was until it's on the goal line. And then nobody on G2 is able to get it clear. They all jumped for it initially. And Devo slotting it in. You know, I said that the easiest goal the G2 were going to get. They're going to struggle to get one easier than what Devo just scored. 2-1 for Barcelona. It's been difficulty in defense for both teams. That's the story of game 2 thus far.
JNaps goes straight for net, and we almost had one that was very similar yet again. Trading very mirror image chances.
Indeed, if that had gone in, we would have seen both teams scoring off a misplay in the corner, and then a cheeky redirect from the halfway line, coming off the wall. It's funny how that sometimes happens in Rocket League. You just get such deja vu. Goals going in at either end. It's like one team sees the other team scoring, they think that's actually a good idea. I might try that one myself.
Chicago to the corner. They're going to go as far as Alpha to the target. Alpha will turn it in. And he's going to be able to get enough on it. 3-1 lead to Barcelona.
Barcelona really coming together here. It's a great pass, and Alpha with the shot as well. So much power. Air roll and a no flip as well. Barcelona up by 2. This is some of the best that we've seen from them in a long time. And a lot of people expected that when they come back over to European competition. They've struggled in America. But the home crowd advantage, I wonder if that's given them an advantage against G2 here, who are probably used to being the favorites.
Well, we've commentated over in Leipzig, where we expected PSG as the European team to have a bigger fan base than G2. That was not the case at the time. I think it's going to be very different, though, over here in Spain. G2 for once not the favorites in the arena. Also, the fan vote earlier on, very different story, 82%.
Oh, certainly online, G2 are still one of the most popular teams in the world. I think Cloud9 are the only ones who can argue that fact. It's wide open at the moment for Bluey. He's placed it well. Oh, or has he? It's hit the post and come out. Bluey looking for that far post placement to keep it away from the goalkeeper, but he went a little bit too far. And that's a let-off. G2 still down by a couple goals, but it should have been 3 there.
Bluey proving that intermediate shooting is the hardest training pack in all of Rocket League.
I'd argue that rookie aerial training.
Rookie aerial training is genuinely evil.
Rookie, I don't understand. A stationary ball is harder to hit than a ball that's moving. Explain that.
Cargo now. Going to be flicked over the top to JNaps. G2 still need to get some work done. They've only got 1 minute for 2 goals. Overall, though, Barcelona, you know, it hasn't been, from 1 goal, the flashiest game. But Barcelona have taken advantage of 3, 2.5 maybe. Big G2 mistakes. And it's been uncharacteristically sloppy from G2 throughout this game.
They've taken their chances well, have Barca. They're actually causing a lot of pressure. There's a 4th goal. And, you know, there's an element of unforced error again from G2. Rizzo deciding to ball carry here. And then try and flick it past Alpha. That leaves him wide open for the dunk should the flick fail. You know, 50-50 there would have been just as effective, I think. But that's something for G2 to think about going further on into this series. It looks like this was getting away from them a little bit. There is the 4-1 that we should have seen earlier on.
Barcelona, they're a team that all or nothing, especially when it comes to score lines, very often either 0-1 goal or they just put 5 past.
I mean, they were absolutely swept clean by the Bricks earlier in this tournament. Bricks had a difficult time making it into day number 3. Okay, well, hold on a second. It might not be over just yet. JNaps puts one in with 7 left on the clock. We've seen quite a few kickoff goals at DreamHack Valencia. Let's see if G2 can put one together of their own.
Let's see if the whiteboard's been broken out.
Barcelona will just want to try and get this anywhere but the middle of the pitch. The middle is actually where it stays. JNaps Not able to get it efficiently towards the goal, though. That's going to be Barcelona taking this one. G2, a few too many mistakes in defense. We're all tied up 1-1.
As I was going to say, you could see Bluey seems happy about that, but
Yep. Can you
you
read
couldn't
his
see
expression?
Bluey.
Can you read his expression from his forehead?
I think you can probably tell from like if he's moving around a little bit. Bluey's a very
frowning.
Bluey's one of those players that you know when you sort of turn yourself when you try and turn the car.
Oh yeah,
Bluey's one of them.
Is he? Does he do that
I've seen him do it. It's,
in Rocket League?
Yes. I'm one of them as well, so don't you go take it.
You do this. You turn your body to steer.
I do the same thing with bowling balls, mate. Okay, there is. I can use the force, I swear.
Yeah, that's a real placebo effect. So, there's another G2 miss on the goal line. Absolute disaster. As Bluey's touch in midfield surprised just about everybody. I don't think they're expecting him to shoot that. Most people would just try and go for an infield pass. But Bluey is not most people. He doesn't play like most people either.
Certainly not. One of the first true mechanical geniuses we had over in Europe. He made his impact felt back in Season 4. Struggled for any massive success, though, as of late, ever since winning DreamHack Leipzig back in 2018.
Had to take a bit more of a backseat role with Alpha 54 coming on the squad and demanding so much attention for himself. And also with Devo, I think having one of his best years in a long time, even though they haven't looked as good recently, still overall impressive for Devo. Right up there with the Season 2 and 3 performances.
It definitely seems like at any moment Barcelona could just click. And at that point, every team against them is at their mercy. The question is, how often do they click and can they keep it consistent?
That's very interesting. I think Blue was faking, just not moving. He was just pretending that he wasn't there. Let the ball roll into him and then surprise G2 with a sudden chip onto the ball. Didn't work out, but rarely see that play in tournaments. It's something I've seen people try in ranked gameplay quite a lot. Just the fake AFK. And then surprise them on the counter-attack. Would have been brilliant to see that pay off.
Gonna be all the way out to Chicago. Just trying to hold on to midfield pressure. G2, after a much better start to this series than they did the last one. Louis should be able to clear that one pretty cleanly, though. He's got Devo in support. Let's put it low. A little bit too tricky there from Bluey. You can imagine there was a lot of boost use for that as well. JNaps and the rest of G2 still got the hold of the midfield. Now all the way to the middle again. Rizzo puts it low. It's over to JNaps. JNaps tried to find Rizzo for the 1-2. Best sequence so far for G2, but still can't get a clean shot on target. Very tentative opening, a minute and a half for us so far, but G2 controlling the pace.
And G2 have kind of stepped their offensive line back a little bit. That's making them less vulnerable. The counter is still, Barcelona are going to threaten one, but with JNaps already being further back to begin with, he's able to get there in plenty of time. I wonder if Barcelona are going to try and make any shot-set style dribbling plays to counter the later challenges that G2 are trying in game number 3.
Louis to the far side. Devo off the post. It's going to find the back of the net. And Barcelona have got a really crucial lead.
Look at that placement for Devo. In off the post, no chance for G2. Fully on the rotation out, just turns right back around when he realizes the ball's coming at him. Might as well just break the old rotation here. Get that ball back in the middle as fast as possible.
Now for G2, there's a question to be answered. We saw that their defensive line had been moved back. Now that they're a goal down, do they have to revert to what was happening in game 2? Or can they take a second and try and see if they can work Barcelona out with the current system? Just imagine, though, as that time ticks away, they're going to move forward inch by inch. Might leave them vulnerable.
Well, it's an open actually for Alpha again, 2-0. G2 are now the ones under a whole lot of pressure. Devo with just a couple of pops onto the ball, knocks Rizzo out of the goal, and then JNaps not there in time to get the save. And this is interesting. It looks like G2 have taken a real hit to their confidence. The way that they lost game number 2 here wasn't a good way to lose at all. I mean, if you lose fighting and you're getting outplayed and you're not playing half bad yourself, at least you go into the next game thinking, hey, we'll get him, we're playing well, just let's keep this up. But they weren't playing well that second game, so might be still thinking about that. Oh, just nonchalant from Bluey as he dribbles out and clear, gets a demo on the exit as well. Barcelona's starting to look a lot more like what we expected from them, Alliance, all season long.
I mean, JNaps tries to drop down, but Bluey reading the game well still. Through to the middle, JNaps behind Alpha. Alpha can't follow it up, but the shot that came afterwards will not trouble Barcelona, who can now start to break. Evo on low boost right now. Can't do anything extra. I think G2 needs to get one of these plays to work out quickly. Could it be this one? To the middle, JNaps wants a double tap, but that play was far too slow. It's created a little bit of traffic over on the other side of the field, but still, Barcelona have barely been troubled so far, but that's going to change oh so very quickly.
It's about time that G2 test the Barcelona goalkeepers. They've not hit the target in a while, but Chicago will be the one to put it in the top corner. I feel like JNaps' accuracy is a little bit off in this game. They're going to need him playing at his best if they're going to go deep in this tournament. Certainly if they're going to get past Barcelona today. Chicago was, I think, at least going into the last day, the man with the most goals for G2 at the World Championship just recently. Who's on the board here? They're within one. Let's see if they can create any more realistic chances and then put the ball on to the net.
I mean, JNaps, he's got the chance.
There we go.
Needs to try and race it though, because Alpha was coming in. 2-all. G2 have suddenly come alive.
Well played. Look at the recovery by JNaps. He's boosted back down to the ground so he can turn more quickly. And didn't take them long. JNaps finds the back of the net as well. That's huge because he was misfiring quite a lot this game. I'm sure after getting a big equalizer like that, he'd be feeling a lot better about himself.
Des did mention that JNaps had phenomenal showing for himself over at the World Championships. They got second place over there. It seems to be a very strong correlation between JNaps plays well and good results for G2.
Well, certainly, if no Vitality player was a MVP of that event, you've got to go with JNaps, surely. Absolutely insane performance from him. Said earlier that Diva's getting back to his former glory. Well, JNaps is doing the exact same thing. Playing some of the best Rocket League we've ever seen from him as well. We might see more of that yet. DreamHack Valencia.
Just be tapped on by Bluey. Rizzo can go for the follow. It's actually infield. Chicago skims past it, and JNaps is very aggressive as a third man. If he lost that, that was an open net for Barcelona to work with. This game is up in the balance. Already seen one OT. Is it about to be time for number two? Devo will assure it.
What a save by Devo. It looked like the G2 boys had done enough there to steal it. Give up the aggression again. Let's see if that continues on into overtime. For the time being, it looks like Barcelona will be the ones applying the pressure. They're just trying to slow this one down and control the game. Alpha coming out on top of that 50-50 with Rizzo, but the ceiling was kind to G2 this occasion, not bouncing down too fast.
Oh, that's a great pinch by JNaps. Would have liked a little bit more speed, but you don't really complain considering pinches are very hard to control. Alpha gets it past one. Rizzo can only keep the pressure going. JNaps has once again been very aggressive as the third. That might catch them at one point, or it could lead to some brilliant moment for them to score. But JNaps to be doing that, he needs to be certain that it's going to go right.
It's a nice interception by Bluey. He read Rizzo's pass well there. G2 so good at chaining together not just one or two passes, but often three and even four. They're the team to look at for the full team passing plays these days, getting everybody involved in an offensive play. Barcelona have got some good saves in game 3 to make sure that G2 are kept at bay. Let's see if G2 can keep the pressure up, keep on testing them in the back of the net. Rizzo with a fairly tame shot, Bluey with another save.
Alpha leaves it for Devo. Devo over to Bluey. Bluey does fake out an infield pass and now can try and play from the corner. It's going to be dangerous. JNaps already up. Managed to take it past Alpha as well. Still, Barcelona got control for the time being, but might not be for too much longer. Rizzo to the corner one more time, but Bluey's already there. Seemed like he had just seen a few seconds into the future, was ready for the play. This could be a good opportunity for Barcelona. Alpha, he's got options, but didn't play it fast enough because JNaps was already there.
Looked like he was trying to fake the pass and then go for the shot himself, but there was a G2 player in the back wall ready to intercept him. But love to see that. Oh dear, Chicago and Rizzo get a bit too friendly there. Luckily, looks like JNAPS has got things under control at the back. That would have been an awful way to concede. Well, he's going to come in the middle. It's wide open for Blue, but he's not there in time. JNAPS sweeps it up again. Good defended by him to keep Barcelona at bay. Going to be coming back in for more chances, so it looks like they got the boost advantage. Will Alpha get another steal? Yes, he will. G2 pinned back in the corner. Will they be able to break out?
Yeah, Barcelona have started to implement their offensive sweep. Expect to go from one boost to the other. Take out play if they can. Alpha, flip reset, over the top, follows, can't block it into the back of the net. But still, Barcelona have had quality chances so far in this OT. Will this be good enough? Chicago nips it away. Devo Demo! Match point, FC Barcelona!
What a play by Devo. Lands inside the goal straight away. Finds where Chicago's coming from. And just before the ball reaches Chicago, Devo takes him out of the game. 2-1 Barcelona. They are on the rise once again. This is looking a lot like their DreamHack Leipzig performance at the start of the year when we didn't even know what kind of year to expect from them. Now with the expectation, they're starting to perform.
It looks like they're enjoying this one. Don't know about you, Johnny, but I'm enjoying this one as well. This is turning into quite the series here to try and secure spot in top 8. Well, for Bluey, he's looking to repeat history here. He beat G2 in 2018 to win DreamHack Leipzig. One game away from repeating that feat to make it to day 3. But this game, maybe a little bit scarier than they would have liked. A 2-0 lead turned into a real game.
Yeah, G2 did well to come back. They seemed to be in a bit of a rut. They weren't hitting their shots. They kept on hitting the crossbar. There was power lacking on a lot of their touches. But it was that man, Chicago, who got the one goal that seemed to bring them back to life again. Unfortunately, they couldn't continue that into overtime. Barcelona with a lot of pressure at the end, which is really what we've come to expect from them. They're so good at pinning teams in, dominating the boost and dominating the ball pressure.
Well, if Barcelona taking away G2's second wind, or can G2 find a way to force game number 5? We're about to find out as Alpha. I think JNAP's going to respect that and the rest of Barcelona's demoing abilities for the rest of this series. Off the backboard, Alpha tries to follow. Instead, it's going to be left for Bluey. Straight into the body of Chicago, but Barcelona starting where they left off in the previous game.
Now remember, the loser of this game is not yet out of the tournament. They will be playing on stream later against the winner of Mount Gang and Complexity.
Mount Gang.
So obviously Mount Gang, being the favourites of the whole tournament, would be expected to move on there. Bluey, meanwhile, going to make it 1-0. Barcelona going to try and take a 3-1 on the road. I don't have a clue what on earth we just saw from G2. But 2 players have flopped past the ball and not made contact. I think their faces tell a story there. They're not looking too chuffed to themselves.
Yeah, it kind of looked like someone depressurized Aquadome for a second. Just had the ball and the players go pretty much wherever they felt like. This is not a good sign to start us off in Game 4 if you're a G2 fan, which it appears that many of our viewers currently are. Alpha pops it up high. Chicago can take over. Wants to try and get a second touch, but I can't imagine Bluey really planning on chasing after that one. This is actually not a great first touch from Rizzo. Invites Barcelona to move forward. Now Rizzo, 0 boost. Just trying to keep this ball moving. Chicago's actually got a hold of it, and, you know, maybe a little bit slower and a little bit more boost on Rizzo, and that could have been a chance.
You see the Barcelona are getting a little more confident moving forward now. Every time they're upfield, they're looking for bumps, they're looking for demos, boost steals, whatever they can get. And Bluey's actually stayed up for so long that he's wide open for a pass. You know, most people rotate back there. Look at Bluey's just doing circles in the middle of the field, waiting to be a nuisance. And Alpha spotted him. Well done with a pass as well. 2-0 Barcelona. G2 are a bit lost in how to respond. If they are going to bring this one back, it's going to be the same way as the last game. 2-goal comeback.
Just get a feeling as well that first things first, G2 need to stop Barcelona from really ramping up the scoreline, which they are very capable of in this situation. That third goal. could very well finish it off. So first things first, avoid that. Chicago can't get it over to any teammate, and there is a miss. Devo can keep this ball played, and Rizzo wants to get that as early as he possibly could. Still, Barcelona, every single challenge going their way so far. As Rizzo will clear downfield. Once again, it's a lofted ball. G2, uncharacteristically, just trying so hard to hit the ball as hard as possible to get it out of their own side of the field.
Yeah, they're not using each other to offload this one. Very often they'll be the teams to do that. There is an offload. Okay, we asked for it, and there it is. JNABs puts it in. I was wondering when this was going to happen, because like you said, they've been going for so many hard clears, and all they often need is a couple of passes and they can make goals happen. There's one, and they've got over half the game left to find another one.
It's also a form of training in a way. When you do so many long clears, your opponents start to hold themselves back further and further because, well, they seem to know exactly where the ball's going to go next. You see, if there was an option, and Devo's option is just to leave the bumping to someone else.
And that's about as much emotion as you're ever going to see from a forehead. Bluey delighted with his contribution here as he collapsed Chicago on the goal line. 3-1. So many Barca goals involving bumps, demos, boost steals, all kinds of annoyances that G2 just haven't been able to deal with. And you know, with Barca looking this scary on day 2, that's a really interesting development, because we've kind of been counting them out after they looked so bad yesterday against the Bricks. So quiet, such a off performance for them. Now, they look like they're right back to their winning ways.
It's going to drop down. Chicago's touch, a little bit awkward. Alpha gets enough contact. Double commit as well from G2. That's going to go long. That should be on target, but Rizzo is already there. Now Devo drops it down for Bluey. A lovely little setup play from Devo, very cheeky. Rizzo looking for another block. Bluey wins that one as well. Every time G2 try and force a challenge, it is going so badly against them. JNABs has gone way too early for that. Very happy to see it go past him, and they'll be less happy to see that one go past him.
Bluey gets a 4th goal. He said JNABs a bit early for the in-and-out save. He did well to hold his dodge and almost, hit on it. But look at the goal line again. Right in there, Rizzo getting bumped all the way into the back. And the timing for Barcelona's bumps and demos could not have been any better in game 4. As soon as it comes in, the shot swiftly follows. And that formula, a formula which G2 have often used and to great effect, just continues to work. Bluey now solo against Chicago. Played by Chicago. He didn't get faked out, and he had a good cover on the shot as well.
Chicago down, and that was almost the setup for the opponents. But just 1 minute remaining. G2 need to get something, I think, just to help them believe. But Bluey, he's on target. Goal number 4 for him. And he's cruising now with the rest of his team.
Yeah, it's all gone wrong for G2. You can see the desperation. We saw a pinch clear from JNABs when they're down by 3 goals. We've just seen Rizzo creep all the way forward and then backflip. They know that they've got to start scoring soon if they're going to come back. But in the hunt for that comeback goal, they've conceded another one. And now it's getting towards the impossible sort of region in terms of comebacks. But wow, Barcelona suddenly look like a team who could make a run at DreamHack Valencia. How happy would this crowd be to see the local team doing that well at their home tournament? G2, they're not out there. They're still going to have one more chance to get into day number 3, but they're going to need a hard reset after this one. They've taken a beating at the hands of Barcelona.
Absolutely haven't. The question might become, which version of Barcelona are we going to see tomorrow? We've seen their best and their worst throughout this tournament. So take the coin, flip it, and we'll see them tomorrow. FC Barcelona have made it to top 8. They've made it to day 3.
Great performances from all 3 players as well. Alpha 54, the player we expect to be carrying. He's just kind of slotted in there alongside Bluey and Devo today. They're all playing some of the best Rocket League that we've seen from them in a long time. G2 back to the drawing board. They're going to have to go up against some more EU competition later on today. to see if they can make it into day 3. Like I said earlier, that's going to be either mount gang or complexity that they have to face. Shout out to our boys over at DreamHack Rocket League 2. They will be covered in that one. If you want to know that result, then head over there. But we'll be right back on DreamHack Rocket League with more on Barcelona G2 in just a couple of minutes.
FC Barcelona managed to take a dominant victory here over G2 in our very last series, and probably one of the biggest North America versus Europe matchups that we have had so far, and Europe ends up holding true. Though that may not be the case at the World Championship, maybe a shift in the landscape a little bit here. Welcome back to DreamHack Valencia. I'm your host, Wade Dreadnought Penfold. Of course, we got Turtle, we got Gibbs. Guys, what were your thoughts there? Because I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit in awe. Like, Barcelona day 1, Barcelona day 2, two different teams.
So I feel like the whole game plan is to get around G2's third man. Well, Barcelona didn't get around them. They drove through them. There were so many plays where mostly Chicago just hit net. It's like, oh, I got this save. Bluey or Devo getting demos on him and just bullying him out of net.
It seemed like Barcelona was definitely focusing more on each other than just simply finding the back of the net, trying to hit the backboard so many times. Like in that last game, actually, I saw them hit the backboard like 3-4 times before they eventually put it in. Even when the shot's there, if it's not a quality shot, they don't go for it. Their decision-making, was on point, and that was the best Barcelona we've seen in a minute.
And what does that mean for them? You know, if they're able to hold this true, do you feel like that if we get the same caliber of play coming out from them for the tomorrow, what do we expect to see from them numbers-wise? Because I can't but feel like it seems like only maybe Vitality is threatening to that. Yeah,
it seems like when you have a bad day, you have to just bounce back on the following day. And the best teams in the world, like when they have a bad day, they still advance, right? So that's what Barcelona's all about. They show up here on day 2. They just got to do it again. They have to repeat this performance on day 3. It's not that easy, obviously. We've seen that with like energy at the World Championship, where day 1 was bad, day 2 is great, but they fell apart because they played Vitality. It's not going to be easy whoever they play. There's only 8 teams left, but Barcelona just has to keep pace with what they're doing. They know what went right, but they still have to go over these replays and figure out what they can do even better.
Yeah, G2 just seemed a little bit linear, getting caught so far up, and Barcelona capitalized so hard on that. Alpha getting involved, opening up space right there for Bluey. Alpha got so many great touches. Bluey was involved. Devo getting crazy bump and demo plays as well.
Yeah, right here's one of those demo plays. Devo just takes out Chicago, and It's easy to score when there's no one in net.
Yeah, and the man who ended up removing that goaltender is going to be joining us here. It's going to be Devo at the desk. Welcome here, Devo. Congratulations there on the victory. And I heard it from Gibbs. We've heard his version of the difference between day one and day two for you guys. But maybe from your perspective, what has been the shift and why have you come out so dominant here today?
Well, I think in day one, we definitely didn't perform as we wanted to. So after day one, we basically regrouped. We tried to figure out what was going wrong. Obviously, our rotation was really bad on day one. But into day two, we're playing really well. I couldn't ask for anything more from the boys, so I'm excited to go to day three now.
So was there a game plan for G2 with those demo plays on the third man because you know how aggressive they can be? Or was it just play your own game and if those demos happen, they happen?
Yeah, I mean, from what I could see, G2 played really similar to Rogue. So we basically just had to counter-attack and make sure that we were rotating, just keep on with demo plays. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and after Worlds, what does this DreamHack mean? Is it just to try and re-energize you guys and get those results? You know, you fell short to Rogue and Cloud9. How does it feel to come back here and get a great victory against, the grand finalist?
It feels amazing. I mean, if you can win DreamHack, then that's obviously a huge achievement.
Get that momentum rolling.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you can win DreamHack this time, I'll be happy, really happy.
Well, I look forward to seeing your performance there tomorrow, there, Devo. And congratulations again on the win. We are not done with all the action here at DreamHack Valencia. We're going to go to a commercial break. And of course, we've got some more Rocket League action as it is going to be triple trouble down at the stage up against is none other than NRG. Their last life on the line. Figure it out here for Fireburner if it continues.